I'm gonna get started, Brett, okay? Hi guys, so thank you so much for tuning in. If you didn't catch the first live video and we're not following each other on Facebook, I made a massive mistake. I realized at the very, very end when I was telling everyone thank you and I was giving them instructions on the re-record, that I did not record a single thing. And so what I'm doing now is I'm going to come on and re-record going through the different steps, the different things that I talked about, but just starting at the beginning. So with that being said, we're going to be talking about ChatGPT. This is a free educational workshop to hopefully get you a little bit more acquainted with ChatGPT and the different things that it can do, but also how you can get it working for you. So first things first, I believe any good workshop should start with a PowerPoint. My PowerPoint's only 4 slides long, and then we're going to jump straight on into ChatGPT and be doing the rest of the education hands-on through there. So, first and foremost, we always start with an introduction post. Hi, my name is Tiffany. I am a boudoir photographer located in Jacksonville, Florida. For those of you who don't know me personally, I've been doing photography for about 10 years now. And probably one of my favorite accomplishments is at least for the last 6 years, I've been reoccurring hitting a six figure business. So it is something I'm really, really proud of. Being a business owner, though, I did have to learn a lot of things myself. And I think it's why I do enjoy ChatGPT so much because it finally kind of lends a little bit of a helping hand to where I don't feel like I'm so alone. I have somebody that can educate me just as much as I'm educating it. But it's also why I like doing these like free workshops so I can give other people that same free information that it took me a little bit to kind of figure out. And then hopefully it will help you out as well and not make you feel so alone. Um, ChatGPT is something that we utilize in our business for a lot of different things. First and foremost, it's a huge time saver when it's done right and when you're doing it for your business. We use this for things like SEO, website pages, blogs, emails, and more. So with that being said, we do refer to Chat GPT as Chad. It's just a running joke that we have in our work group chat. I have a few employees who work for me, and saying Chat GPT constantly kind of gets a little old. So you're going to hear me say chat or Chad throughout this educational video. It's just been kind of what I've been calling it in my head, what I've been calling it with my team, and so we're going to utilize that here as well and make it a little bit easier for all of us. So with that being said, let's talk about what we're going to be learning today in this workshop. So my first goal is to teach you how to make ChatGPT sound less like a computer and more like you. We are going to talk about different things like branding voice and personality and tone and even as simple as your core values and things that are really, really important to you in your business and how we can teach ChatGPT to remember that stuff and recall it when we're asking it for things. I'm also going to kind of go over the multitude of all the different things that you can ask ChatGPT to do for you in your business. It can help you from like creating business plans, marketing strategies, networking strategies, collaboration strategies. You can do customer service emails and responses. It can do content plans, but also the content themselves, blogging, SEO, page descriptions, like product descriptions. Honestly, if it has to do with words, ChatGPT can help you. I also am going to show you what we use it for most, which is going to be creating a ton of content and content plans for our social media. It is like, like I cannot explain how much we use this for our social media. So without further ado, we are going to let the fun begin. We are going to go straight into ChatGPT and kind of get started. And um, I'm going to show you from my account, but I do pay for a subscription. So there is a free option for ChatGPT, and then there is a paid for subscription. The subscription, all it really does is allows you to work a little faster. It also allows you to create custom GPTs, which we will talk about at the very end. Um, I also like because it does give me a few extra things that allows me to use this service called Dolly, which creates images if I want it to, and a few random other things. I won't lie, I don't know everything that's included in the subscription, but it's definitely something that I like having. But I am going to show you how to use it without needing a paid for subscription. Okay, so I'm going to exit out of here, and we're going to head over to ChatGPT. So The very first thing I want to tell you is when it comes to ChatGPT, at the core, it is just a computer. Okay. So it is not connected to you, it's not connected to your business, it's not connected to your why, your voice, anything like that, but it can be taught to connect with those things. So a good example is, again, this is just a very basic chat. I hid my little like sidebar, but this is usually what it looks like. I just have a lot more on my sidebar than like someone who's just starting out. So I would go to, Chat GPT, and let's say I'm like, I want to make an email newsletter. Okay. So I'm going to say, like, and just again, very basic and very vague. Hey, Chat GPT. I do always talk to it like it's a human. I have this like funny mentality that it is a computer and computers are some days probably going to take over. And if they do, I want them to know that I was at least nice to them. But um it's also my brain connects it a lot easier to talk to it like I'm talking to a person, because then I can word questions correctly, and I not correctly, but I can word questions in a specific way and ChatGPT picks up on it. I don't have to talk to it like it's a computer. I can talk to it like it's a person and it still registers. So, hey ChatGPT, can you make me a newsletter about boudoir photography? And so I'm going to ask it a very, very basic, vague thing. And what it's going to give me is a very basic, vague response. This has nothing to do really with my business. It's cookie cutter. It's just going based on what it thinks it should say, but it has no connection to me and my business. Okay. So this is where I can go in and say, I can go in and start teaching it about me. So instead of saying, hey, write me a newsletter, I can say, hey, Chat GPT, I want to create a series of email newsletters for my boudoir business. And I'm just going to use my own business as an example, but this is for anything real estate people. We had another lady who did paintings. She sold painting classes. I had not a sex therapist, a sex coach come on. So this can easily be done to whatever business that you run in. So this is probably, honestly, this is the one tip that if you forget everything else in this workshop, this is the one thing that is going to change your life. And I can't even take credit for this. I learned this trick on TikTok. I was watching TikTok last summer when all the AI stuff was starting to come out and it was like blowing people's minds. And this simple thing is how we started, and it's been game changer for me. So you're going to start with the request like, hey, Chat GPT, I want to create a series of emails, newsletters for my boudoir business. Can you ask me a series of questions to get to know me and my business better so that you can provide me custom, you can say curated custom, you can just say like, so you can, give me a better experience. Like it does not have that's the thing is any of this stuff I teach you, it does not have to be worded specifically. It can be worded however you want it to. Okay. So I want to create a series of newsletters. You're telling it what you want it to do. You're asking it to ask you questions so that it can get to know you and your business. So that way it can give you that custom content, custom emails. I'm just going to even leave it at that. Now what it's going to do is it's going to give me questions that I'm going to copy, fill it in, and paste. And then we ask it again, and it's going to give us curated stuff. Now, there are different things that I'm going to teach you. This is very basic. Like, if you just want something quick and you're like, okay, I don't want to put in all the work to get like the steps done, just do this. And it's simple and it's easy. Um, and you can say, like, describing your photography, this, that, and the other. Now, I did send over homework. Funny enough, ChatGPT made the homework for you guys. I sent you guys homework, which was branding voice questionnaire. Okay. And essentially, what I did is I created a list of questions that you are going to fill out. I would recommend filling out here so then you can copy and paste it, and then you can copy and paste it directly into ChatGPT. You don't even have to ask it to ask you questions. So when I did the non-recording, when I did the first workshop earlier today, I actually asked, I realized I probably should have filled this out for myself so I could show you what it looks like. Thankfully, one of the ladies that participated already had it all filled out and she was good to go and she let me copy it. Now I copied her whole chat GPT experience because we got a lot of really, really good snippets of information for her during it. But I'm just going to focus on this. This is what she sent me back. These were her responses to what I sent you guys. So the responses to the email, okay? So what I'm going to do is going to say like, "Hey Chat GPT, I have a series of prompts or questions or whatnot. I have a series of prompts with answers directly from myself. Can you analyze?" I don't know how to spell. "Can you analyze the data and then help?" You know what? I'm even gonna give us another little snippet of thing. You can ask ChatGPT to pretend it's something you need. So you can ask it to pretend to be a social media manager or pretend to be a assistant or pretend to be a website designer or website blogger or, marketer, and you can have it step into that role. So that is actually what I'm going to do for you guys. "Hey ChatGPT, I have a series of prompts with answers directly for myself. Can you analyze the data and then step into the role of a social media manager? Here is the data." And I think I scrolled up, so I got to scroll down. And it starts off giving us a social media overview. And then this is where you build up, or I guess you build down. You build from a vague standpoint and you get niche and niche and niche until you're getting those very specific things. So it is giving there's just a bunch of information. I'm going to kind of let it go through this. And then I'm going to ask it to create me a content calendar. This is again one of my favorite things. And this is not even me showing you or not integrations, but extra in-depth things that you can add to it. Oh, I did this earlier. I think it times out. I don't know if it's my internet or not, but I did this 30 minutes before the first workshop earlier today where it just like stopped working and then I just tried to sign out. I tried to restart my computer and then it wouldn't let me sign back in. And honestly, I was like, of course this would happen right before the first Zoom workshop I ever hosted. Perfect. Okay. So now that we got this, I'm gonna look over it, but I'm not gonna look over it right now, but I'm gonna say perfect. This all sounds amazing. Now, if it does not all sound amazing, this is where you have to go in and continue to teach it until it works for you. So let's say it's saying something and you're like, this isn't really me. Can you change it to be a little bit more like this? And it will. Okay. But we're gonna pretend it's all good. I'm not gonna go through and read it. So perfect. This all sounds amazing. The next thing I need help with, can you create a month's worth of marketing ideas for social media, and then it's going to create us a marketing plan. And this is where, if we want it to be specific, we can ask it for TikTok ideas, we can ask it for Instagram ideas, we can ask it for Facebook ideas, we can ask it for story ideas, Instagram story ideas. We can even again be a lot more specific. So we can say, let's see, for week 1, can you create me a task list of things I need to do to schedule this content out? And then we're going to go down here. This is really good for those of my followers who have ADHD, who are neurodivergent, who do specialize a little bit in having a task list set up. You can have it itemize a task list for you if you want to. You can also ask it, let's see, it's going through. Perfect. Can you create the captions for these posts for me. And you see how we're taking, like, we gave it information, and now that it knew, and once it learned our business, we go in and we start asking it to do more and more specific things. You can start off as specific as you want. You don't have to go in and make, a marketing strategy, to make a content calendar, to make a task list. You could have started off saying, "Can you make me a week's worth of captions?" You know? So, like, this is where, like, ChatGPT is honestly so, so amazing. Okay. So we're going to go back here. One of the best things that I can explain is that these in-depth questions about you and your business and your personality and your target audience and your everything to do with you, that digging deep into your stuff is how you dig deep into ChatGPT to get it working to be custom curated for you. If you don't know your brand voice, it's going to give you a generic brand voice. I'm a very big person about being relaxed and chill and down to earth, and I curse a little, and I'm a little Southern, so I say things like y'all and hun a lot. And I have trained ChatGPT to pick up on those cues of how I speak and how I talk. And I've done it because of going in and making those micro adjustments. Okay. So if it wrote something out and I'm like, this isn't really my tone's a little bit more like this. Can you rewrite it to be in this tone? ChatGPT also has a history of, like, being very winded and using a little, almost like writing like essays, and it's very knowledgeable. And I tend to speak as if I'm speaking to friends, so it's a little bit more simple and casual, not using necessarily big, eloquent words, using more casual conversational pieces. And so that was something that I had to go in and train it so that it wouldn't create these like big, big, long posts. Um, so with that being said, I'm going to show you Julia's again, and I'm going to show you some things that I really, really liked. You don't have to have all the answers. She said, I have no idea how I keep, oh, she said, I have no idea how I keep my brand consistent. This is another really, really cool place where you can use ChatGPT to teach you instead of you teaching it. So you can say like branding consistency. I'm gonna go, can you help me understand this question better so that way I can give you better information to help my business? And then it's going to help educate you. So you I don't know if I said it on this or not, but I really want to hone in on the fact that, like, you can treat ChatGPT as if it's a person and have conversations with it. And one of the conversations that you can always have is you can ask it for things that are teaching you. You don't just have to be getting like simple content information. And so it gave us, it's asking about strategies and practices you employ to make sure that every piece of your content and advertising, like, it's giving you all of this wealth of information that you might have had to scour the internet, scour Google to kind of get, and then it's helping you kind of through that. So understanding, brand consistency, it's about core messages, visual identity, tone and voice, content themes. These are all things that are very important. And once you give ChatGPT these things, it speaks more and more and more like you. So with that being said, once you kind of have all of this figured out, this is where the really, really cool stuff comes in. And I'm going to show you over here because one of the things that ChatGPT offered, and this wasn't offered when I first started and I was utilizing the whole ask me questions to get to know me thing, is they now offer what's called custom instructions. And with the custom instructions, oh, that worked, okay. With the custom instructions, you can add things, you can give your ChatGPT very specific things to do and not do. And so, for example, what would you like ChatGPT to know about you to provide better responses? And how would you like ChatGPT to respond? So what I did earlier is I copied and pasted her stuff. I said, I'm wanting to create custom instructions that I can input into the Chat GPT settings to get Chat GPT familiar with who I am, who my business is, and started on the path of custom responses perfect for me. I've completed a series of prompts with answers for you to use to create the custom instructions. So again, these prompts are on your homework. I had ChatGPT create a workshop that asked questions to get to know the client so that it could create custom instructions. Okay, so that was meant perfectly for this. Can you analyze my responses and give me your interpretation for the custom instructions? And this is that copy thing. Like, look down here, it says no idea, LOL, it said, based on your detailed responses, I've synthesized blah, blah, blah. And this did not give us what I wanted. I let people know that sometimes when you ask it to do stuff, you have to ask it like 2 or 3 times to get exactly what you want. So I don't know if you saw down here, whenever I did this, there is a character limit of 1500. Obviously, this is random. This is long, drawn out. It's winded. Okay. And so what I did is I just asked it to analyze. I didn't specifically ask it to create the specific instructions. Okay. So don't get like discouraged where if you're doing this chat GPT stuff and it's not giving you what you want, ask it specifically after you got the basic done. Okay. So here it gives us an overview, which is really cool. I said, thank you so much. Again, I like to talk nice to them. Said, thank you so much. Can you now create specific answers to these 2 custom instruction questions? Each answer has to be under 1500 characters. And these are the 2 questions. And then it made it for me. So I have all of this right here. And then I would literally copy this and I would paste it. And then I would copy this and then I would paste it. And then you would be able to start creating custom chat GPT things based on that. And that is like the coolest thing I feel like is ever out there because it should save your data, it should save your information, and it should let you kind of keep going from that. If you were to start with the basic kind of question thing, I feel like eventually after so long, it might get a little muddled and you might have to give it specific insights to you and your business again as it goes through these different prompts and these different things for you. Okay. So with that being said, again, this is a great tool to get custom content always without necessarily worrying about it being muddled. But as your business change and as you grow, you might have to change the custom instructions to fit. Okay. Let's see. I created, where did it go? I wanted to kind of go along and show you all the different things that you could do with ChatGPT. Because again, I think that's another area where we might use it for 1 or 2 things, but we don't realize the um, craziness that it can do for us. Okay. So I asked it very simple. Can you create a list of the many different ways business owners can use ChatGPT to help them with their business? And I was having some issues early. That's why you see me like doing it like 2 or 3 times. But that was when I was having issues and I wasn't sure what was happening. So it did. It brainstormed, I think, 20 different things. I will go ahead and give the disclaimer number 14, legal documents. I did try to have this help me. I'm going to become a surrogate. My transfer is next month and we had to get a contract set up. It was bakudos of money for the lawyer though. So I tried to see if I could make the surrogacy contract on ChatGPT and it gave me very specific things like no, we don't recommend doing legal documentation because every state is different. And because every state's different, you want to make sure you contact, a professional. So it does say legal documents, but take that with grain of salt. I really don't think it's a good tool. Now, because we weren't able to get an answer, I then asked it, I wonder if I have it down here. No, I don't have it anymore. Um, because I delete chats when I don't need them. And so I deleted the chat for the surrogacy stuff. But what I did instead, I said, okay, if you can't give me a contract, can you give me questions that I'll need to answer for the contract? That way we could at least get started on the planning process and figuring out what it was we needed to get on the same page for. So again, take that one with a grain of salt. Now, I'm not going to go over all of these, but it's really, really cool. And I think I'll include this in the email when I include the video to you guys. That way you guys can kind of go over it more in depth. But content creation, this is probably what I use it for the most, which is going to be generating blogs, social media, newsletters, and more. Customer service, girl, boy, I don't whoever's watching this, if you end up with like a person who emails you and you're like, I'm stumped for how to respond, ask chat. Say, this is what was sent to me. These are the key points I want to make. Can you write out an email for me? Can you write out a, Facebook message for me? Um, Market research, you can literally ask it to get you market research on your industry. You can ask it to get, trends and stuff like that. I will also say when it first came out over the summer, the big thing that kept getting repeated was that it's not fully current information. I don't know if that's something that has changed. I don't know if how current its engine is, but I know before when it first started, it was like it really didn't know anything within the last year because of how the data was fed into it. And so things like industry trends, social media changes constantly. It changes so fast. It is possible that this is not going to be current trends. So just keep that in mind. Okay. But at the same time, just as fast as social media changes, so does technology. And it very well might do newer information. So, product description, this one is really, really cool because I swear I can write to people, I can write Facebook captions, social media captions, but I cannot write like product descriptions. And I sell things like, what did I put on my website? I have a storefront, and I have a workshop. I have a workshop service that is now as a product on my website that people can go purchase. And I had to make a product description for it. And I'm like checking to see if it's down here too. I was like, I'm stumped with what to write. Can you give me a good outline? And it gave me an outline. I think it asked me just a few questions just to get to know because it was a random thing I threw at it. I was doing this, full debut to our workshop. It asked me a few things. I gave it the information and then it made the product description for me that I literally copied and pasted and put it on my Squarespace like product option, which is really awesome. Email marketing. This is the cool part is because not only will it write your emails for you, you can also ask it to give you the email prompts. You can say, "Hey, I send out a weekly newsletter every week. Can you give me 52 email themes, prompts, whatever you want to call it, whatever the word you want to use for it? Can you give me out 52 email themes?" Matter of fact, let me I don't know what I'm clicking on right now. Um Let me do this real quick. So I have created a custom or my own GPT, which is Chad. We will talk about that later. But that Chad knows my business. So I'm gonna say, hey, I want to create a year's worth of email marketing ideas. Can you give me a breakdown of each weekly email theme. I struggle sometimes with words and connection. Thing Thankfully, ChatGPT is really good about getting what you're looking for, and then putting it can still understand you even when you feel like you're fumbling or you're not saying the right words, which is wonderful. But here, literally, I'm asking it to make a whole year's worth of email newsletters for me, and then I'm going to go in and I'm going to say, perfect. Can you write the first email for me? And then I'm going to have it go in and write the email for me. And this is where it's like, it's so cool what ChatGPT can truly do. Um, anyway, so just kind of showing you one of the really awesome things. I'm going to head back. There we go. Let's see. Brand storytelling. These are things where, like, sometimes I just don't understand the terminology. I don't really know how to explain this in layman terms so that you guys can fully understand. But again, here is where, like, it can do this for you if you know what it is and you want to utilize it, or you can ask it, like, can you explain to me what brand storytelling means? Content strategy, this is kind of what I did with the email marketing. It planned out the whole year worth of emails for me. I could ask it to plan out a month's worth of social media posts. I think I showed you how to do that with Julia's stuff. Oh, maybe I didn't. That's okay. Um, there we go. Okay, okay. It can help you create training materials. If you're an educator, it can help you create educational materials. If you have employees, if you have, assistants who work for you, it can help you put to words what you want to teach them. It can help you come up with ideas if you're struggling on things to come up with for marketing or things to come up with for content, or you're struggling with, how to word your why, it can help come up with that. I've used it to create pages. I've used it to create Facebook ad campaigns, freebies to entice people to sign up for my email newsletters. I created a whole back in October a booty selfie guide, and I told it what I wanted it to do. I was like, my goal is to create a web page, or my goal is to create a whole email newsletter campaign, getting people signed up for my newsletter by offering them this free booty selfie guide. In the guide, I'm going to include videos to show how to pose. I'm going to include instructions. I'm going to include an Amazon link for, outfits and lighting and tripods that I recommend. I was like, I'm going to create this on a website page. Can you help me with this? And then I had it outline everything. I had it outline um what my captions were gonna be, so, like, different, Facebook posts to get people enticed to sign up. I had it, do the email because people were gonna sign up for my newsletter, so they were gonna get emailed this booty selfie guide. I had it create the website page for me. I had it create an outline so I knew what to put where, and I had it create a video outline so I knew what to record in each of the videos. I think there was, like, 3 videos. And so I had it create it from start to finish. And it's literally just me talking back and forth to ChatGPT to create these things. Social media management. So this is generating ideas for social media posts, getting the captions actually made, scheduling the content, so on and so forth. SEO optimization. SEO is really, really big. It's how Google connects with your website or your like links and stuff like that. I know it's Squarespace. You're supposed to use SEO within the website pages as well as the page descriptions, as well in blogging. You can ask it to give you keyword ideas, and you can also ask it to make these website copies, page descriptions to be SEO friendly. We create blogs that are SEO friendly through Chad. Language translations, financial analysis. As I said, we're going to skip legal documents. Personalized recommendations. If you just want to, brainstorm some different things that you can do in your business, some different services, like you can do that. Event planning. If you use like Eventbrite or Facebook for events, you can have it put in your event descriptions and all of that like little like written detail, which is really, really cool. So with that being said, as I said, like honestly, it is so endless what ChatGPT can do. Um, I'm even gonna show you. I laughed so hard when I did this before. Can you create me a meal plan with easy and cheap dinner ideas for a family of 5 with picky eaters who don't eat a lot of veggies. This is me utilizing it for my personal life, okay? So it's going to offer this, and I'm even gonna write it while it's doing it. Perfect. Can you create a grocery shopping list for me based on this meal plan? And then can you create the recipe cards for each of these meals? You see how, like, even using it for personal things, we are doing this, where we're utilizing it and asking it and continuing the conversation, and it's getting a little bit more in depth and a little different each time, and it's so amazing. It's so amazing. Um, I had someone say when I first was tossing around the different things that I was utilizing ChatGPT for, someone said that they homeschool their children and they use ChatGPT to homeschool their children and create the curriculums for them. And like, can you create me some fun arts and craft ideas I can do with my children ages 4, 8, and 10 after school? That's simple, easy, and doesn't require a lot of cleanup. Endless. The possibilities are endless. Um, anyways, so one of the last things I want to show you, we talked about custom integrations, and this is Custom integrations are with the free account and the paid account, so that is not something that you have to, like, stress about. What is not included in the free account is my GPTs, and this is where I've gotten me even more custom and specific to who I'm talking to and what information they know. This one I created earlier, on the workshop, so I'm just gonna delete this. But just to be very specific, I have Chad, which is my Chat GPT for Hype Girl Boudoir. And I can even show you Chad's a social this is when you go to create a GPT, it's gonna ask you all these different things, and I will show you how to do it, but when it asked me all this information, this is where it plugs it in, okay? So, like, I did not write this, ChatGPT wrote this. Description, Chad is a casual, passionate social media manager with a silly side. Chad's a social media manager GPT tailored for a boudoir photography business in Jacksonville, Florida, so it knows where I'm located. Embodying the business owner's casual and approachable style, complete with mild cursing, because I do curse, for emphasis and authentic words. Chad's expertise lies in generating content ideas that evoke emotion and storytelling, targeting women aged 25 to 55 whose focus on self-love and body acceptance. The business owner's personality, being a Taurus and a type 3 with a bubbly, down to earth demeanor, is essential for the brand's identity because my personality is my brand. Okay. People are hiring me because of who I am. And so that's really important to me. Chad's responses and content suggestions align with the style, concentrating on the business's three core pillars. My core pillars are the topics and things that are really near and dear to my reason and my why. Things like sexual liberation, loving your body at every stage, and finding your true self. So I wrote these out for this chat GPT to know exactly what I wanted it to talk about. This focuses aims to create post reflecting empowerment, self discovery, and celebrating womanhood in all stages. This is literally this is my business. This is my this is someone that I've created to work for me. So I said it earlier, and I really liked how I said it. Customized chat GPT just means that you're telling chat GPT how to talk to you, who you are, etc. Customizing or my GPT is like creating a um employee that works for me. I'm creating a very specific person who is very specific to what I'm aiming for. Someone asked in the workshop earlier, do I create a specific chat GPT for every aspect, things like blogging and website design? I have not as of yet. I've used Chad for mostly everything. However, I could see the benefit of it. I could see it. Brad is for my other business, but I don't use it as much. My other business is focused on things like families and weddings and moments together. My business pillars, my core values are different for that business, and so its core values are different for this business. My personality, I don't curse as much. It's not necessarily about women empowerment. It's about making memories with your family and stuff like that. So I can even show you a little how it's different. Um,
Exactly.
Here, this approach aligns with brand's emphasis on genuine connections, personal stories, and the celebrations of life little moment. Like you see where it's automatically different. So that's why I made Brad. It was a running joke. I was like, I don't know what to name if not Chad. And so we're like Chad and Brad. Um, but I can kind of show you starting from the top. So let's say hypothetically I did want to create a blogger, a professional blogger. So what would you like to make? I would love to make a trendy blogger who is passionate, and I'm going to do this based on boudoir because that is what I'm passionate. Who's passionate about whoop, um, boudoir photography and the impacts it has on a woman's self-image. And the really cool thing with the builder is it literally walks you through these steps of creating this like personalized GPT. How about naming it Boudoir Inspirations? I'm really big about calling it a person's name. So I'm going to say, let's name it Veronica. One of my clients recently is Veronica, and I love that name. I think it's gonna ask me for, like, an image next. It's gonna create an image for me. Um, of course, the internet's gonna go slow now. While oh, works for me. Yes. Let's refine her behavior. Can you tell me more about the kind of advice or content you envision Veronica sharing about boudoir photography? This is where I would put things like, the tone. Like, I'm gonna write this down so you can see it. Branding, voice, tone. How do you want her to speak? What do you want her to talk about? This is where my business pillars are going to go really, really in handy. I can even copy and paste things from my website and previous blogs and say, use these as tools to make her more curated for me. Like, this is where I can customize her to be exactly what I need for my business. Okay. I'm not going to go deeper into this right now because I think I've got that point like pretty much like nailed. Um, so with that being said, there were some cool, really, or some really good questions that was asked in the previous Zoom chat earlier today that I do kind of want to cover with you guys. One was, where do I store this information? They asked if I stored it in like a Google Doc or whatnot. Honestly, half the time, some of this stuff gets like, because I'm using it as I need it, and I'm just copy and pasting it and scheduling it in my social media scheduler. I might throw it up on a Google Doc. We recently did a oh, I can't pull it up. Um, I was outlining my, what is it called? My business pillars, and I was creating a bunch of post topics that I could give to my social media girl to where she can pull specific caption ideas to make captions based off of. And I had it help me, like sexual liberation and like finding one's own like sexuality and, learning and growing and becoming the person we've always wanted to be sexually. And that was, I asked it to list me out different topics, topics based on things like kink education and smut books and like different avenues. And I just kept having it list out different ideas that we could do. I also had it list out different types of content. So, this or that's post questions versus like deep thought questions versus like sillier memes and sillier, story sharing and personal sharing. And so I had it list all these different types of post as well. Um, I think they say there's like four main types of posts. There's educational, personal, inspirational, and something else I can't remember. And so, yeah, that was kind of what I did is I had it listed out these different types of content so that I could create, 100 topic ideas based on one topic of sexual liberation and all the small branches that we could go off of that. Um, I can't remember what I was saying. I do apologize, but I hope you kind of understand a little bit more about ChatGPT and how I utilize it and the depths that I go with it. And, hopefully this does help. I am going to go ahead and give the disclaimer by all means, email us, reach out to us on social media. Anything, if you have any questions about this is something that I really wanted to share with you guys. And I wanted to share it for free just because this information is free out there if you just know where to look. And so I don't want to capitalize on something that I myself learned for free and taught myself. And I just really wanted, to spread that love and spread that like education out to you guys. So if you have any questions, let me know. The best way to reach me is through my business line, simply because my own personal inbox gets crazy. And I do pay my assistant Marcella. She's an amazing, amazing woman, but she handles all of my business inboxes, making sure that things get responded back to. So if you message me personally, I might not always respond. It just might get lost in the chaos, but you can reach out to business pages, business emails, whatever, and you will get a response back. Okay. And then this is also something someone asked if I was going to be doing more things like this. I've been trying this year to mix it up where one month we're doing something in person, the next month we're doing something online. I don't have too much ahead planned, but last month we did a content day where I invited photographers into my studio and we shot like a bunch of models. Next month, I'm doing an in-person boudoir workshop where we're going over specifics when it comes to business and marketing and, your branding and your voice and posing and editing and this whole, you name it. And so we'll be going through that. And then hopefully in April, maybe we'll come back together and I'll give you guys maybe like marketing ideas or blogging ideas or client connection ideas or anything like that. Honestly, I'd be more than happy to hear what you want to learn from me, which would be fantastic. But again, if you have any questions or anything like that, or if you feel like there was something that I glazed over and you want to pick my brain about, anything, just send me a message. I'm more than happy to respond back to you guys. I'm gonna stop sharing for a second. Honestly, thank you so much. I do apologize for the goof earlier, but I think this was just as good. So you didn't miss anything. All right. I'll talk to you guys later.